Hey there, I'm Sneha, and welcome to Kalmeri Studio, my creative sanctuary. Today, I want to take you back to a time that changed everything for me. It was the April of 2020 when the world was quiet. Well, not really quiet. We were home and dealing with something I guess most of us had never done before. It was an eerie kind of quiet, and that's when my Mandala journey began. It was the first wave of COVID. We'd been in lockdown for over a month. And trust me when I say this, I was one of the few rare souls who's actually kind of happy when we were told to be home. I still remember, I felt like this is going to be a good, slow pace to our super busy, hectic lives, with being stuck in traffic for hours and just rushing through everything. I felt like this was going to give us a chance to really, take it slow and reflect and be more present with everything that we were doing. Well, what started as a welcome break from our rushed lives soon turned into one of those most anxious, fearful periods of our lives. So one evening, I was scrolling through Instagram, like most of us were. I came across a Mandala post. It caught my eye, but I kept scrolling. I didn't take it seriously. But it stayed with me. Like one of those posts where you're just mindlessly scrolling, but it settles in some part of your mind. Little did I know that small moment would lead me to something life-changing. A week later, I saw a dentist turned artist offering an online mandala workshop. I know those were the times of Zoom meetings and online learnings and practically everybody offering an online course, which was great. I mean, we turned to the digital world and how. So with nothing to lose, I joined. I thought I'll give it a chance. Let's see how this goes. And there I was. I picked up my old geometry box after ages. I started to draw my first circle with a protractor. I hadn't held a protractor in I don't know how long. Started to divide lines with a compass. Something about it felt familiar. I don't know what it was, but there was a weird sense of ease. It was peaceful. Felt like homecoming, honestly. It was just so natural. I'd always loved art as a child. I was always a creative child who loved to read and write and make art, those sorts. Especially if you're an introvert, I think you turn to do these things even more. But, somewhere along the way, growing up with academics and getting a job and wanting to build a solid career and responsibilities in life, obviously art took a back seat. And lockdown brought it back like first seat. Like, I started painting and I took out my canvases and that is all I wanted to do all day. And then of course Mandalas happened. And it became such a daily ritual. Like, I was surprised, like, how am I doing this? And how has this become a part of me out of nowhere, literally? And I'd see every evening after I finished work, because most of us are working from home, right? I'd sit in my parents' room by the window, which was my favorite corner of their room. They'd be sipping their evening chai and chatting and having, yummy Indian snacks, while I'd be, scooped in my corner with my art file and pens and pencils, drawing circles after circles and patterns and dividing the page and finding the center like every day. And everybody was like, what is up with her? Of course, they were happy to see me happy and completely engrossed in what I was doing, so they couldn't really, have a problem with that. But it became my ritual. It was my sense of calm. Also because in hindsight, in that time, all you heard around was news of death and people losing their close loved ones. It was a scary time. So this practice became my savior. I could shut out all the noise and be simply present with drawing, like just focusing on this lotus that I'm making, for example. Simply being present. And that's how the mandala started flowing. I filled big A3 sheets with intricate designs. I wasn't following tutorials or anybody in particular. I would maybe turn to Pinterest for the occasional creative inspiration, but I was purely guided by my intuition and I trusted it completely. I found mandala art as a practice so generous, freeing, and deeply healing. I think that's what I love about it. And I would, typically, me being me, play soft, soulful music in the background, have my essential oils in the diffuser, and maybe have one of my favorite Turkish shows playing quietly. And I just felt like a happy child again, lost in her happy wonderland. I mean, what joy to be able to create that as an adult with so much on your plate and with all that chaos around. So it is safe to say that mandalas have seen me through some of my hardest days. They've held my tears. They've witnessed my frustrations when I wouldn't get the angle right, and also celebrated my quiet joys. Like here, the feeling you get when you've completed one whole design and you feel so accomplished, yet so much at peace. It's exciting. I don't know if this will be my forever career, honestly. I'm also a digital marketing professional. And like many creatives, we're given the well-meaning advice of, oh, maybe it's time you get a real job, get a good corporate job. But for now, as I choose this, I am choosing this. I'm choosing what makes me feel alive. I'm still figuring out. I don't have all the answers. I don't know where this will take me and how it will look like 5 years from now. But all I know is that I am navigating the unknown. And all I can say is that this is where I find peace. And that's enough, right? That's enough. Why complicate things when not needed to be? So this is my invitation to you. If you've ever felt lost or overwhelmed, I hope you find your version of a mandala. Something that grounds you, heals you, and brings you home to yourself. Thank you for watching. I still have the tutorial left. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your creative story in the comments. Lots of love.